Hello and welcome to my new video about what your basement says about your psyche and how minimalism changed my life. 10 years ago my cellar looked like that, and now my cellar looks like this. What does this comparison has to do with minimalism and how minimalism can change your life, you will find out in this video. First of all, I want to talk about what minimalism is for me and what does minimalism mean to me. For me, minimalism means that you only possess things you really use and things which are really necessary for you. Maybe you have heard about the sentence, I keep these things because maybe I will use it in the future. This is rarely a mindset for a minimalist person. Well, there might be exceptions, but generally, for a minimalist person, if you don't know when and for what you will need a thing, you will give that thing away. What does the picture with the cellar have to do with minimalism? The cellar often is a place where you store things which you don't use every day. So the cellar is a tricky place for minimalists. I think the cellar is also kind of a mirror how minimalistic you are. That's why I showed the picture of my cellar in the beginning. The minimalism theme probably is a topic for my generation, because one here is saying that our parents' generation immediately came after the World War II period, and so they kept all the goods they can have because their parents had less things, or they thought about collecting things for bad times. For me, the minimalism movement means freedom. The less I possess, the less bounded I am to objects, but more to objects and persons I really like. Because you have to take care of all things you possess. Even if you store it in a cellar, you have to pay for the storage room, and for the rent of the storage room you have to work, and this work is time that you waste for your things you don't really use. So you can also save space and money. I also believe that you should have a relationship to all the things you have. If not, you are a person who doesn't know how to be aware and finally how to take care of your environment. If you own a lot of things, it is exhausting to maintain relationship to all things. And it is also time consuming. And if you cannot have a relationship to all the things you own, you cannot have deep and meaningful relationships also between persons, because you lack sensitivity to your environment. Then maybe you fight a lot with your partner or with your closest person. On the other hand, if you possess only a few things you really need, you are able to lead a more fulfilled, happy and peaceful life. And you are able to truly love and be truly loved by others, because you can concentrate on the few but deep relationship. You are not busy with things you actually don't use anymore. So it is about having a focus in life. For me, freedom is expressed in the way that I can live wherever I want and not be stuck somewhere. I believe if you have a lot of things you own somewhere, you're stuck at that place. Of course, you can go away for a certain time, but I think something always pulls you back again. For example, I've bought a nice but only 2.5 room apartment in Zurich with my family, even if I could afford a standalone house with pool, etc. If I had a house but we would stay abroad most of the time during the year, it would not make sense to take care of something you rarely use. Well, you can let the house be maintained, but that costs you way more money than a smaller apartment. Then you could say if you have earned a lot of money, it wouldn't be a problem. But I think even people who have a lot of money, they normally work for it, and so again, they don't have really time for other things than the working time or time to manage for their money. So maybe now you think, how can I live in a 2.5 room apartment with my family with one kid? I've rarely seen a family in Switzerland who lives in a 2.5 room apartment, so my son sleeps in our bed anyway, so he doesn't need a room. My office is stored in a small room, respectively I work at the laptop in a very nice living room with the best view in the apartment. Many people separate the kids from their parents' bed early because they want to sleep independently and maybe more undisturbed during the night. But actually, I follow the belief that if kids sleep in the parents' room or even in the parents' bed for a longer time, up to 7 years old, it is better for their education and health. So you can easily live in a 2.5 room apartment until your kid is around 7 years old. So with this minimalism lifestyle again, you can save money and valuable time, and at the same time, your family life can be more peaceful and healthy. If you have only what you really need, you will have more time for hobbies or for people you really love. I mean, quality time. If you want to be updated about my upcoming videos, subscribe to my channel. See you next time.